Hi, my name is Sandra Sassine. I'm a two-time Olympic fencer. I competed in the Beijing Olympic Games in 2008, and I also competed in 2012 in London. I am from Quebec in Montreal, but my first 17 years I lived in Chibougamau, a little small town here in Quebec. I do miss a lot competing, knowing that Tokyo is coming quickly. I always have memories of my two Olympic Games, but also I'm missing my sport. It's such a cool sport, and even like after 28 years, I still loved my sport. At the end of my career, this is something that I really. There's a time that you will stop, but it's not because I didn't love my sport, that's for sure. I love the competitive side of being an athlete, and I try to have those feelings whenever I do a sport. So when I play tennis, badminton, I always try to, I'm very competitive, so even at work. But it's very, I think it's very positive. But yeah, no, I miss it a lot. What it takes, it's like a really good question. What it takes to be an Olympic athlete. Well, I can say what it took for me to become an Olympic athlete. So I did fencing. I started at the age of 6 in a little town of Chibougamau, and I was inspired right from the start. When I put my mask on, I suddenly found myself in this new world where I really loved what I was doing, what I could create. So I fell in love with my sport. So I do think you need that, because there's going to be some tough time where you will have to take decisions, and you always go back to the why you do the things that you do and why you're still doing it, even when it hurts, even when you're frustrated. So it really starts with the love that you have for your sport. And then you have to be surrounded. So I tried to qualify for the 2004 games, and I was really alone in that. Like, I had no money. I couldn't afford for a coach. I didn't have any teammates that were also trying to compete to qualify, and I was by myself. And when I didn't qualify that night, during the last competition, I really understood that if I do continue and I try to qualify for the next game, I can't be alone in this. It really does need an entourage of to really be able to be successful and to achieve the game. It's very rare that someone achieves that level by themselves. So accept that you need help, and if you need help, go get it. Don't wait that it comes to you. Just go get it. So having people around me that inspired me, that pushed me every single day, shaped me in who I am today, and really did help me through my Olympic journey. So back when I think about my teenage year, where it's tough to combine school. You want to socialize with your friends, you want to be cool, but you also focus every day on your training. And add to that I needed to work, so I was able to pay for my competition. So my schedule was very, very busy, and I had to structure myself. I needed to be very disciplined. So I was fortunate to have had other athletes that was older and that was Olympians that I could look up to, and I saw how dedicated they were and how disciplined they were. So I was able to, say, what, if you want to reach that level, you will have to go through this path. But at the end of the day, it has to come a decision for yourself. So you have to, you know, be honest with yourself, and you have to be able to analyze. And once you take a decision, you just like, you go 100% with no doubts. So I was very fortunate to be surrounded by people that would push me to my limits. But yes, I needed to learn to respect myself, to respect others. But that's, you know, you learn that through the years. But it takes that, and I had that, even though I'm in a small sport with no funding, very low funding. I was fortunate to have people that really push barriers and push limits, and made me think that, you know, anything is possible.
Can you give us a glimpse into I'm sure there's so many emotions, but you know, even a glimpse into what that meant for you personally?
The one thing I can share about how proud I was to be Canadian and competing at games is, one big moment for me at game was the welcome ceremony, where in the village, in the athletes village, we're all welcome to see our flag going up, so the Canadian flag going up. And that was a very powerful moment for me, to being so proud of being Canadian and competing for Canada at games. So during the lift of the flag, I was thinking about my whole career and thinking about my father, who is my coach and pushed me. I was thinking about all my injuries. I saw my full journey while the flag was going up. And the one thing that, you know, I always say about being Canadian is, like, I traveled everywhere in the world, and most of the time I was alone. And by saying that I was Canadian, I was, you know, welcomed with so much openness and respect, and that made me so proud. So sitting there and being able to compete for my country, that was really a dream for me, and I felt so proud in that moment. Yeah, so the best advice I had was when I was 13 years old, was during my first World Championship in Denver. I was 13 years old. I was competing in a World Championship the event was under 17. So I was one of the youngest athletes for that competition, and I lost almost all my match. And the first time I really hated the sport. I didn't know how to deal with failure. I really felt like really bad. And my father, who was my coach, he looked at me and he knew exactly how I felt, and he's like, so my dad pointed his finger at me and he said, Sandra, if you work hard, if you get all the tools you need, one day you might go to the Olympic Games. And that really was powerful to me and really speaks highly to me. So yeah, well, working for the Canadian Olympic Committee, I'm not supposed to have any favorites. I'm cheering for all athletes. But between you and I, so of course, I will be cheering for all the fencing team. It's going to be a history games for fencing. We've never have so many fencers in the past, I think 20 years. You know, every fencers that qualify at games for Canada has not the weight, but has the opportunity to make history for our sport, because we never had any medals ever in the history of fencing in Canada. So we all wish for that first medal for our sport. So I will be cheering for all fencers, for all Team Canada athletes, but most I will have like a little attention to the fencers and hoping that, you know, they can really compete at their best. And maybe that one day it will be magic for one of them, and maybe more than one, and they will get that medal that we've been waiting for so long. Oui, alors à tous les athlètes d'Équipe Canada, on est derrière vous. Le dernier droit avant les Jeux olympiques, c'est un moment quand même assez incertain, qui est pas facile. Mais surtout, ce que j'espère, c'est qu'il ne faut pas oublier pourquoi vous faites ce que vous faites en ce moment. L'amour pour votre sport, avec votre objectif qui est très, très, très haut. J'espère que vous allez avoir l'énergie, l'envie de mettre tous les efforts et que non seulement vous allez vous qualifier, mais que vous allez pouvoir participer aux Jeux olympiques et performer à votre meilleur. Donc, pas de regret. C'est ce que je vous souhaite. Donnez tout ce que vous avez. Bonne chance à tous.